This might be a little problematic.
Hello everyone, you're watching Little Miss Swan. I'm your host Miranda. Today is a spooky month video and we are watching the movie The Voyeurs. This movie is a little bit weird to say the least. Like, I've got so many notes on this film. I wanted to do my Halloween video on something that wasn't too violent or graphic, but a good thriller with like lots of twists and turns and like misdirects, because I love Halloween. Anyone who knows me knows that. Like, look at, like, I'm on brand for Halloween today, and I am obsessed with Spooky Month. Like, ask anyone. Like, look at this. Anyway, to get back to the point of this video, The Voyeurs, it was such a strange movie, and when I tried to describe it to my partner, he's like, that seems so stupid, but I think it was executed quite well. It was just a really fascinating watch. It stars the iconic Sydney Sweeney and also Justice Smith. If you don't already know, The Voyeurs is centered around, these two characters, Pippa, who is Sydney Sweeney's character, and Thomas, who is Justice Smith's character. They're starting a new life together. They move to Montreal and Thomas finds an amazing apartment that they can live in. Like, it's so pretty, it's very much like my aesthetic, but there's kind of a little bit of a strange vibe around the apartment complex. This is due to the fact that their windows, so like this is my window right here. Imagine if I could see directly into someone else's bedroom. Like, the whole concept of curtains just don't exist in this film. Like, as a couple, they're super adorable, we love them, but they've got a very curious streak, because obviously with seeing into someone else's apartment, they become obsessed about watching their neighbors in like their everyday life. And in turn, this couple could probably see into Thomas and Pippa's apartment, but they don't really seem that interested. They're just like, yeah, people are just like living their lives and all that. But Pippa and Thomas become like obsessed with watching this couple, like down to even like when they frick frack or, cooking, or even like serious situations where it could, be a domestic violence situation. They're like, what do we do? Should we, involve each other in these people's lives and, help the other couple? So the other couple are Sebastian, or Seb, and Julia. And, as a woman, if you see someone going through like a domestic violence situation, of course you want to help. So Pippa tries to involve herself in Julia's life to see if they can, help her or anything like that. But the kick is, should ethically you be doing that? Are you helping someone, or are you involving yourself in a situation that you shouldn't be doing? Like, they've got no business doing that at all. Because one parallel that I thought, like, if you're bringing this into the real world, is like with YouTube, family vloggers, everyone like oversharing their lives, but they're voluntarily doing this. Pippa and Thomas are spying on people that they did not give permission to spy on, if that makes any sense. Because I understand, like, I guess, like with the COVID lockdowns and all that stuff, you can become obsessed with like watching YouTubers and like other people's lives and like neglect your own and like your own relationships because you're so obsessed with someone else. So I do understand that, but how far is too far? And that's the question that this movie always says. And initially it's almost like stalking someone. Like, it's strange, and that's why like this movie is like centered around like being like a thriller for the genre. Like, the whole movie questions the notion of how far is too far. Like, every single scene pretty much, it's filled with twists and turns and things that I couldn't even predict. Like, I'm a pretty good movie watcher and I can predict a misdirect, but this movie, holy cow, I did not predict anything that was going to happen. The symbolism in this movie was like really, really good as well, because the theme of like, watching obviously is seen through someone's eyes. So Pippa, for her job, she's an optometrist. Obviously that's a person that, studies the eyes, and helps people with glasses. Like, at the moment I'm wearing contacts. But like, I thought that was quite interesting for the theme of watching, or even using binoculars, to see inside someone else's house, or just the posters on the wall of eyes. And yeah, the whole theme of watching was just quite interesting. It kind of reminded me of The Great Gatsby, because they did that with the symbolism through the doctor on the poster on the billboard or something like that. Like, someone's always watching you. Going back to, I guess, like my notes that I had on, do you help someone in a bad situation? Is it your place? But I kind of want to make this video spoiler free. Like, if you've already seen the film, then you know what I'm talking about. The director of this movie, Michael Mohan, I believe that's how to pronounce his last name, even said,
it's an allegory, and so there aren't any shots of cell phones, and you can still enjoy it if you're just watching it. It's just a fun ride, right?
Voyeurs, the title of this movie, applies to the characters but also the audience. Looking at something that you're not supposed to be seeing. As someone who always tries to look after my friends, family, or whatever, like, do you tell someone a secret even if it's not your secret to tell because you're trying to look after them? But is it that wrong? Like, do you shield them from, a shattering secret that can literally destroy their entire world? Or do you let them find out for themselves? That's the whole thing of, like, the movie, I suppose. There was also another notion that Michael Mohan, the director, pointed out, is that, like, I spoke about, YouTube and getting involved in people's lives, but apparently he said, quote,
because now we have this app called Instagram where at any moment we can peer into the window of other people's lives. You would think our brains would go like, this is bad for us, we should stop looking. But instead we're addicted, right?
Like, with letting the public in, it's an allegory for that. Like, feeling dissatisfied in your own life that you have to obsess over someone else's. And the ending is a result of putting yourself into someone else's situation, which they never really asked for. I'm curious to see your thoughts on this movie. I want to keep my videos like short, quick, and snappy. And like, have you watched the movie before you come to me, or if you just want like an honest review? So if you like this style of video, or do you want me to review it like in real time, just let me know. I'm interested to see the results on that. But yes, I'm going to put this video to a close because I'm quite busy today. But if you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazz. And happy spooky month to everyone. And trick or treat, do whatever. Stay spooky. Oh, and toodaloo.